Hello, hi, hey, yo, supple you dudes and dudettes. My name is Geniator84, and while 2016 was many things, lacking in films it most definitely wasn't. I've been reviewing the latest movies throughout the year, so I thought I'd rank them today to see if my opinions have changed in any way. So grab a bag of popcorn and a drink, and enjoy my ranking of 2016's movies. At least the ones I actually saw in theatres. Oh, and of course this is all opinion, so don't go crazy if your favourites are at the bottom of the list. Though I'd be surprised if your favourite film of 2016 was... I love the Harry Potter books and films, but I wasn't exactly thrilled to hear there'd be a spin-off movie. The story's just fine as it is. Do we really need an extension to this incredibly polished universe? As such, I went in with low expectations. As you can tell from where it's ranked, yeah, I was right. I went into without much anticipation. It's impressive that it was actually worse than I expected, and that's for one simple reason. It was a comedy. That's not to say it didn't have the Doctor and the others had. Au contraire, I actually really liked the subplot about these cursed children. Coincidence? But aside from that, I struggle to believe this story is penned by J.K. Rowling. For one, the story just sort of happens until both plots intervene at the end, and we don't really learn anything new about the Wizarding World. Heck, the only connection this film has to the rest of the Potter universe is Grindelwald and this one line that definitely wasn't forced.
What makes Albus Dumbledore so fond of you?
Anyway, this movie tried too hard to be funny, and it just became cringy, especially the romance, which was just awful. Just thinking about it makes me want to vomit. It's hard for me to hate this movie, as it is very innocent and that Niffler is the cutest thing, but I just didn't care about these characters, and that's one of Harry Potter's biggest strengths. I went in with an open mind, but I'll skip the sequels, thank you very much. While not outright bad, it's definitely my least favourite movie of 2016. The original Kung Fu Panda might just be one of my favourite movies, blending slapstick with serious perfectly, and the sequel is also fantastic, though I've only seen it once. It also ended on a great cliffhanger that got me excited for the third film almost immediately after I saw it, and when it finally came, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little underwhelmed. Now the movie's perfectly entertaining, the design of the village is really cool, and the baby pandas, oh my god, I want one now! But after the second film set up a great premise, it was a shame to see Poe reuniting with his dad to be almost glossed over. Also, Kung Fu Panda 3 doesn't mold the serious slapstick combination nearly as well as the first two, and it just feels subpar, especially when you compare what came before it. On top of that, this panda girl can...
Wow, she's amazing! She's so beautiful!
Oh, shut up, you obnoxious! Oh, I don't know, you're just obnoxious! But the film as a whole is okay. It's just my least favourite in the trilogy and feels like a downgrade. It's alright though, it is enjoyable, there's some nice eye candy, and when it does get emotional, it's pretty good. But as a whole, this movie just felt like a wasted opportunity. There's been a significant jump in how much I like these following movies, but I needed to rank them, and I'll explain why Suicide Squad ranks as low as it has in a second. For now, what did I like? For one, I had a lot of fun watching this movie in theatres. The action's good, there's some good laughs.
She can't cut it, and her grades start slipping. I need you white people that thing.
And the cast. Will Smith is great as a fresh assassin of God. Yeah, this joke failed. Margot Robbie was a great Harley Quinn, though in my books you can't top the original. I also can't wait to see more of Jared Leto's Joker, because it was a very unique, as well as very intimidating, version of the Clown Prince of Crime. The problem with Suicide Squad is simply that I have no interest in watching it again, and I think that's because there's little story to keep me coming back, and the third act just feels so familiar. I've seen this kind of act so many times, it's a cliche at this point, and I just didn't enjoy it as much as the first two acts before it. But what did come before it was a great summer blockbuster, which I highly recommend as a distraction for 2 hours. It both feels very familiar and very different at the same time, and it's just a lot of fun. This was another movie I was very skeptical about, for basically the same reason as Fantastic Beasts. Did we really need this? But I was quite pleasantly surprised that I enjoyed this movie. But why? I can't actually say for sure. It's just kind of a good movie. My only real gripe with the movie is most of the characters aren't really that interesting, and Felicity Jones is a very bland lead. Her character is mostly, I hate everything and I'm miserable, and our band of heroes aren't as likable as those found in the other Star Wars films. The only thing I can think of as being worthy of mention is the action, which is very good. It's well filmed, visually cool, and seeing Darth Vader mow rebels down was pretty badass. Although he did get the Jared Leto treatment when it comes to screen time. To come up with things worth mentioning. Everything else is just good. The story's good, it's entertaining, the pacing's really bad to begin with, but improves. It's just a good movie. That's all I can really say. So I'll just move on now to... I loved the 60s Batman show, and this was a perfect reboot. It's got the spirit of the show, though it can be even crazier being animated, and it is. Most of the cast from the show are dead, but the replacements were really good, and the Riddler's laugh continues to be the greatest thing. Adam West and Burt Ward were great reprisals, but Julie Newmar's age is definitely the most noticeable. Also, it really irks me that Commissioner Gordon looks more like Alfred, and Alfred looks more like Commissioner Gordon. It's a nitpick, but that's what you're all here for. Getting back on track, not only does Return of the Caped Crusaders celebrate Batman of old, but also the new. Seeing this in the one-night-only screenings with a bunch of other Bat fans laughing at some of the references was really cool. I also really liked that for the second half of the movie, the main villain was Batman. That was a really entertaining twist. What else is there left to say, but if you're a die-hard Batman fan like me, the DVD is well worth your money. Every person who I've talked to about this movie have all said the exact same thing. It's really good, but not as good as the first one. I feel like the only person who prefers it to the original, but I think the main reason for that is because my family have watched Finding Nemo to death. And you'd swear they were talking about Citizen Kane. I mean, good lord, just watch something else for Christ's sake! I'm down pre-recorded audio. Also, there's other factors to Finding Dory that I enjoy more than finding the... Emily? Yeah, my sister brought it to school once. This was another film I was highly skeptical of, so I was thrilled by how much I enjoyed it. The story wasn't a complete rehash of the original, and I like the new characters. But the returning ones are great as well, although Nemo's new voice is a little hit and miss. I also prefer the aquarium setting to the fish tank. You get to see a lot more, and the comedy is also great. However, I will confess that now the excitement of the experience has died down, I take back my 5-star score and now settle on a 4. Also, the writers ex machina the hell out of the script. But even so, I still really like this film and prefer it to the first. Anyway, I think my family have done watching Finding Nemo for the bajillionth time. Damn it! Watching it again made me realize just how much the third act makes this movie. That's not to say the first two are bad at all. This is a great movie, with great visual gags and references, and it's just a great noir mystery with a great duo in Judy and Nick. But damn, that third act. Just when you think the movie's about to end, it turns the tables and makes you realize that Judy has become responsible for the corruption in Zootropolis at that point. They then proceed to give us an insightful message about racism and the power of leadership. I mean, God, that's deep! Really love that third act. But as I said, the first and second are still great as well. The script is witty, the animation is vibrant, the characters are likeable, and it's a Disney movie I wouldn't actually mind a sequel to. Well, I guess miracles really do happen. I also have to admit, I can see this movie being dated in 20 years or so, as it is very modern and the frequent appearances by pop star Shakira, whoever the hell she is, also probably don't help. But what the hell, I know, maybe it will be timeless, and as things stand, I love this movie. It's a great buddy cop film, the twist at the end is wonderful. Just watch Zootropolis if you haven't already. I don't think this movie turned out how anyone expected. I can't imagine many people went into the cinema expecting a character-driven epic that doesn't explicitly state its themes and ideas. I certainly wasn't expecting it, but unlike many, I really liked it. I'm sure many will interpret it differently, but I personally see this film as an in-depth look at the corruption brought on by having too much power, and that's the struggle both Batman and Superman go through in this movie. The story has a lot to say, and you have to put some of the pieces together yourself, and after 3 viewings, I'm still picking up on new things, which is great. It also helps with just how well the story is presented, in terms of the stunning cinematography, fantastic soundtrack, and great performances that bring these characters to life. Oh, and while there isn't a ton of action, what action there is pretty damn awesome. I also really like the dark tone of the film, and on the first viewing at theatres, there were some scenes that were genuinely intense, but that's just how into it I was. The only real complaints I have is that the whole Doomsday stuff is overly long, and I really wish this movie didn't have to set up the DCEU, but aside from those issues, there was a lot of effort thrown into it, and it shows. It's gritty, deep, and a great story for those who are willing to look into it properly, and for all those reasons and more, this one's a personal fave, and would have been my favourite movie of 2016 if it hadn't been for... A recurring theme throughout this list is that I've been wary of some of these movies, and Moana was no exception. The trailers just kind of looked okay to me, but as you've been able to tell, Disney have had a really strong year, so some of me was kind of excited to see if they were able to go out on a high note, and when I was sitting in the theatre during the final scene, I thought to myself, yeah, they pretty much did. In other words, Moana blew my expectations out of the water. Choice of words intentional. But why is this my favourite movie of 2016? Why is this the one that exceeded my expectations more than the sequel to Finding Nemo? Why is this the one? Well, for starters, I haven't wanted to marry a soundtrack this bad since LA Noire. There are a lot more songs than I expected, but they were really good and a couple of them still give me chills. Also, Dwayne Johnson can sing, who knew? But the standout is undoubtedly newcomer Oli Cravalho. Please tell me I pronounced that right, please tell me I pronounced that right. She gives Moana real character, and combined with why can't I say Dwayne Johnson? Oh my god, I've done the last bit of audio for I've done like 1,000,000 takes on, oh my Jesus. She gives Moana real character, and combined with Dwayne Johnson's Maui, they make a really likeable duo to embark on this adventure with. And what an adventure it is, one that's very Wind Waker-esque. And oh my god, I haven't talked about the animation yet. I mean, holy crap, it's outstanding! From the water to even how the hair moves realistically, it was absolutely breathtaking. Okay, any issues? Well, the fact that the pig only appears prominently throughout the first act is downright criminal, and there's a very strange character. Put simply, imagine if David Bowie had a child with Tim Curry, and it was a crab. Do you see my point? But honestly, I love this movie, and after giving it some thought, that still stands. I wanted to applaud once it ended, and for me, it takes a special kind of movie for that to happen. For me, 2016 was the year of animated films, both old and new, and it honestly couldn't have ended better. What else can I say but Moana is, without a doubt, my favourite movie of 2016.